Hey, how you doing? I'm here. I showed up. Yay. That's the first step. Welcome. You clicked on a link and brought you to a portal, and you landed here in my magical world. I call this Periwinkle Palace Arts, and I'm Princess Bun Bun, and I'm here with my bunnies, and we do art stuff here. I forgot to move my keyboard, sorry. Okay, I have some stuff to talk about today that's been going on, but we're gonna start coloring first. We've been working on this. We're going to finish, we're gonna do a second layer of color and blend the shirt and the headband, and then I think we're gonna do the guitar, so we have to pick colors for that too. I might do it kind of orange. What do you think? Maybe. I don't know. Let's say good morning to the bunnies. If you've been here before, you know her. She's the fabulous and wonderous Maya. This is my fibromyalgia bunny. She got her little symbol on her tummy. And she goes everywhere with me because I love her. And she has a funny face. Look. Look. You can't be sad when you look at those eyebrows. So cute. Yeah. Yes, we're gonna color. She's very upset we haven't colored in a while. Well, that's not exactly true. We did do some coloring in the bed. This is Fidgets, and she is my electric pink anxiety bunny. And she has her paws like this because we is having the anxiety. You look so worried. I know it feels scary, but we'll be alright. And this is Ice Cream, because she's the existential crisis bunny. And she's very melty, and everything is just melty on her. And y'all, I am having some existential crisis issues, so that's why we brought her today. Alright. Let me see if I can remember the order of my colors. You sit here, okay? I gotta get to my thingy. Okay. So, I'm trying to figure out, I think all of my colors are actually still in order. Sort of. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out as we go. What is that? Alright. I'm going to start, I believe, with the, cloud blue. And we're just going to go over everything again. So, I don't know if you can see, but there's speckles still in the shirt. You see those black speckles? So that means we need to flatten the tooth of the paper and add another layer of color to do that. And it's going to make it all blending in nice. I've been having a struggle, guys. If you wonder why I suddenly went from doing a stream almost every day of the week to I only did one last week, and I think I might have done two the week before. It's because I'm struggling, and we'll talk about that. I've had multiple things that have just piled on me. Is my hair cute? It needs to be cute for streaming and doing art. Alright, and I have my coffee. These are the things we need to do the art. That's Andy's mint. Yummy. Oh, do you have your coffee? If you don't have your coffee, you should probably go get it. Just saying. Okay, so we start in the middle and we go around. I'm going to try to keep these colors to where they're supposed to be, because I don't remember what I was doing. As always, if you have any questions about what I'm doing or what I'm using or why I'm doing it, please feel free to ask. I'm not a professional. I'm not trained to do what I'm doing. I have taken some classes, but that's not what we're here for. I'm not here to teach you. However, I'm certainly glad to share my tips, tricks, and what I'm doing. I don't really need to recreate the shape here because it's already created. So mostly I'm just going over the areas where I can see the tooth. I will say the tooth is a little bit easier to see on the black paper than on what I usually use, which is the white paper. It does make the blending a little bit easier. So I definitely don't have to be as precise here. I just need to get the color in the general area where it was. See, that's starting to look really good. I'm not sure where my colors are supposed to go here. I think this goes here. Yes, because the spring green is actually the end of that color blend, now that I think about it. So the very next color blend, because this one's the first one in the color blend, goes right after the green. And do the same thing in here. My hands are very shaky today. It is what it is. Hmm. If you want to know what I'm singing and dancing to, there's a screen share in that box on the screen of my Spotify mini player, and it's right there next. No, it's above me now. I moved some stuff around. I need music very much. I use music to help regulate myself, honestly. Because I'm fighting the depression monster right now, and things going on just haven't helped at all. I'm not sure which color. I'm not sure if I even put light cerulean in this blend at this point. This is the next color for sure. I really do not mostly feel as energetic as I'm looking right now, honestly. I fake energy. I kind of fake it till I make it. I do it to improve my mood and stuff. I kind of grew up with that whole fake it till you make it thing. And I kind of do it without even thinking about it. I know that there's times where I really should, for my own self-care, like, take a break. So that's something I have to consciously do and force myself to do. It's not something that I just do naturally. My natural instinct is keep going. Keep going. Don't give up. And taking a break is not the same as giving up. Let me repeat that. Taking a break is not the same as giving up. It's literally taking a break. And you get to say, just like Ross and Rachel, but we were on a break. I know, I think I'm way funnier than most other people think I am. If I don't fill up all the tooth here, it's okay. We're going to come back with a blender pencil. Guys, I don't know what to do with my face. Oh, pardon me. I put things in my bra all the time. I don't know why. Where is the other one? It must have fallen on the floor. Oh well. Just as I now have to figure out the next color. Yep, this is it. This is light cerulean blue. What is this? Non-photo blue. It might go in there, I'm not sure. I don't remember if we used it. Would you love me more if I came to you? Would you love me more? So last week I did manage to actually move my overhead camera. It is no longer on my right side over here. It is now right here. And that makes it a little bit easier for me to get a flatter view of what we're doing, because before I had to tilt the camera like this way for it to even see this side of the desk. So we moved that. I haven't got my time-lapse camera back up yet. But we've made a little bit of progress. And I did a lot of thinking last week because honestly, overthinking is what I do when I'm depressed. I'm sure y'all can relate, yeah? Put a comment down there or pop in the chat if you can give me a thumbs up if you do overthinking when you're depressed. But I did do some thinking about the direction of this channel. I played with some things, looked around on Substack. I'm honestly looking for a streaming platform that isn't as strict about music. As YouTube. Along with a place that I can put a basic blog that you guys can follow. I do often communicate better in writing than I do with talking, and I think it might be helpful if I put my thoughts in a blog and details of projects in a blog, and then we can discuss said blogs here in the chat. If I can get my initial thoughts out and give you guys some questions, some thoughts, then that might help me out in the chat, I think. I'm not bringing a lot of this in, just coming around the bottom of here. I'm really not sure where my other vape went, y'all. I mean, really, it's got to be under my chair, or I'm sitting on it. Now, the reason that I put the Spotify mini player up there is because I sing and dance horribly. It's embarrassing. So at least you can see that I am listening to music. If you wanna go, then I'll be sorry. If you're leaving, baby, let me down slowly. Let me down, down, let me down. Anyway, I spent most of my week in bed for a few reasons. One, I was already dealing with the depression. Two, I ran out of one of my most important meds on Sunday. I take it twice a day. It's a 12-hour continuous dose. And once again, my pharmacy did not have it. My husband had to call them every day and try to get it. And so I went into withdrawals. And I know, I say my goal and what I try to inspire others to do. One of those things is I just show up, right? I just show up to my desk, and then whatever happens, happens. And I tend to get really down on myself when I don't show up. Even if I don't stream, showing up is really important to me. Because if you don't show up, you can't progress beyond that. I just couldn't get out of bed. And that kind of made everything worse. And I started having thoughts of quitting. And I started negative self-talk. I said things to myself like, why are you even doing this? What does your content even do for anyone? It's quite a lot of effort to learn what you're learning, and you're not learning it fast enough. You're not improving fast enough. You're never gonna build a community. What are you talking about? You can't do this. You're making a fool of yourself on the internet, showing people all your mistakes. Your children aren't going to see that you're brave when they're older. Your grandchildren aren't going to think you're brave. They're just going to think you're ridiculous. You're very cringe. These are the things I told myself last week. Not very nice to talk to myself that way, is it? But here's the deal. I still have those negative thoughts going in my head right now. But I'm trying to find compassion and a gentleness with myself, because I was in full-blown withdrawals from an opioid-based medication. And while I don't really have an issue with showing that on camera, I had an issue just getting out of bed. Because when you're going in withdrawals, you're dealing with two main things. One is the fact that you start shaking and sweating and all of that, just like a person who's going through detox, because you're going through detox. It's a forced detox. And you're also dealing with the higher level of pain coming from not having the medicine that usually keeps you out of pain. It's not a fun time. I've been through it quite a lot, which is one of the reasons why around this time last year, I just started saying, look, if this med or that med doesn't arrive and I'm off of it for like 7 days, I'm not going to go back on it. I don't know if that was a good decision or not. But at that time, I stopped taking Xanax, which is still a problem. I stopped taking Adderall because after I didn't have the Xanax, my heart rate was going up a lot, and it hurt. My chest was hurting. So we took that out of the meds case. And then I just started lowering the opioids that I take, because honestly, I want off of all of these meds because I'm real tired of the pharmacy and the DEA messing with my medication schedule. Because I've been on these meds for a very, very long time, almost 15 years. I take them as prescribed exactly. There's a specific schedule that's kind of down to the minute of when I need this and when I need that. So I've been fighting ever since then to get through various forms of withdrawal and find other ways to handle what I needed to handle with the meds. I feel like, in general, mentally and physically, I was pretty stable. As far as, yes, I was still in pain. Yes, I still had anxiety. Yes, I still have narcolepsy, but I was okay for a little while. And I gotta tell you something. Physical addiction, it's not a one and done thing. You don't just stop medication and after you go through the first phase of withdrawals, you're fine. It takes more than that. It can take years because there's more than one stage of withdrawal. It's like 4 or 5. Anyway, I spent pretty much all of last week either in withdrawals or once I got the medicine in, it didn't go 7 days. Readjusting and dealing with the exhaustion and pain that being in withdrawal gave me. This is something I pretty much constantly deal with. So it didn't used to be like this. Like I said, I've been on these same meds for 15 years. And then around COVID, things just started to get really difficult. It started getting difficult to get your meds from the pharmacy, obviously, but also it just hasn't changed since then. It hasn't gotten better. If anything, it's gotten worse. So that's one thing we had to deal with last week, along with the depression. Those negative thoughts are pretty common for me. I use techniques to run them out of my head when I can. But I have this little problem where I sort of self-sabotage. It's usually around this time of year and around my birthday, which is in February. So I try to be aware of that so that I can more easily move through it without it destroying everything. And I've been dealing with it all my life. So being aware is a big part of how I deal with my health. It looks like I'm having a lot of lag, guys. I'm really sorry about that. I wanted to fix that last week, but I did not get to it. And I have not gotten to dealing with my sound issue either. I will, I promise. I think the reason with my sound, the reason you're hearing a buzzing is because my laptop's right in front of the camera that the sound is going through. So I have these DJI mics that I just need to set up, and I'm just not sure how to do it, and I can't focus. It's really hard to focus when I'm depressed. And I tell y'all these things because, gosh, I want other people to know they're not alone out there, I guess. I think it's really important. I know how it feels to feel alone. Not just lonely, but alone. Even around other people, you feel alone because you're locked in your own kind of hellish world, in your own mind. And it can be hard. I found it. Under the archives. Woohoo! I think I also, last week, allowed myself to get really frustrated with the streaming because I get frustrated with myself. Because, like, I know that I need to fix my audio. I know that I need to now fix the lighting. I don't know how bad it is today, but, you know, I feel like I need to fix the lighting. Because I moved the cameras. And, you know I need to figure out what this encoding error dropped frames thing is. Because, you know, it's creating lag. And I get frustrated with myself because I'm not doing these things, but I don't have the energy or the ability to focus. And I keep forgetting that when I started this, the whole idea was I'm going to learn while I'm going. So it's going to look messed up and it's not going to be perfect ever. And I forget that. And I start sliding into those perfectionism tendencies. And then I just don't want to do it at all because, oh, I haven't figured out how to fix that. I can't stream until I fix that. And I let myself get really deep in that last week. I have so many ideas and projects that I want to do with you guys. And when I'm not getting to those things, I often start to feel like I'm lazy or just not good enough or stupid for trying this. My normal thing to do when I get like this is just kind of give up. But that's the easy thing to do, right? I'm not gonna lie. Doing this every day that I can, it's hard. It's not easy to convince yourself to get on the internet and expose yourself to the world. And I don't know how the younger generations do this, like the TikToks and everything. I don't know. It's uncomfortable for me sometimes. Okay, it's uncomfortable for me all the time. But my New Year's resolution, one word for last year, was uncomfortable. Because I needed to learn how to allow myself to be uncomfortable, how to sit in that discomfort and be okay with it. And I'm not any better at any of this stuff than anyone else. It is a daily struggle. It's a constant struggle against your own thoughts. And my tendency when I'm like this is to go quiet. I just go quiet. I disappear. I feel like nobody wants to hear my stuff, you know? Nobody wants to hear my crap. But I think that we all think that when we're in these places in our head. And if there's one thing that I can do, it's to talk about it. Because we don't talk about mental health enough. We don't talk about the exact struggles. And so we all feel so abnormal. We all feel like we're carrying this burden all by ourselves. But we're not. You're not all alone because you're depressed. In fact, you're in pretty good company, because there's a lot of people out there that are depressed. And I want to invite people to talk about it. Like, what does it feel like to you? What do you do that helps you? We don't talk about these things, and we feel so alone. And I don't think that's how we're meant to be. I think that humans should be closer to each other than they are. So that's one of the reasons that I started this stream, so that we could talk about it. So those are the reasons that I did not really stream last week. And I want to apologize for not being here for you guys, but I also want to apologize to myself. For thinking and talking to myself so badly. If I had a best friend, I know I wouldn't talk to my best friend like that. Why do we treat ourselves so much worse than we would treat our best friend or our children or our loved ones? Why do we do that? The mind is a powerful thing. I can't say no. Careful. I get frustrated very easily when I look around me at all the things that I should be doing. Should, in bunny ears, you know? It's very, very difficult for me to even allow others to do things for me, or to feel, sometimes I feel like I'm not worthy of my family, because I used to be this person who got up at 5 a.m. and I handled everything: kids, homework, school, clothes, bills, budget, shopping, cleaning. My house used to be a spick and span kind of clean house. When I got sick around 2011, things just started to fall apart, and I constantly felt so guilty. I still have a tendency to look around at messes in my house. Not dirty, dirty things, just messes, like piles of things. And be like, I should do this, I should do that. It's all pointless. I'm just lazy. But that's not true. I'm not lazy. If I was lazy, I wouldn't be staring around at all the things that I think I should get done. Okay, we have light aqua here. I really wanted to have a full time-lapse video for this one. I'm not going to get it because I had to move my cameras. And I came up with an idea for the charcoal paper one. I think I'm going to do that one in very light colors. Might even use a different set of pencils for it. I have these Arteza 50 set pastel color pencils that are really nice. And I have the 50 set of metallics too. So I was thinking maybe I could use those on the charcoal gray page. And also, I think I might try to make the hair white, like it is in here. I also desperately need to do my nails. Not want to. I don't want to. I need to. Because they're cracking and breaking and splitting and it hurts. And here's the thing. When my hands are going through a bad flare-up like they are, it makes them hurt because I don't just have psoriasis on my skin. I have psoriatic arthritis. So when I get a flare-up, my hands hurt a lot. And I have issues with grip, strength, shakiness. I have both psoriatic arthritis and osteoarthritis. Fun stuff. And fibromyalgia. I'm still feeling quite a bit of pain from being out of my meds. So, knowing that my hands were terrible, that's another reason I didn't come to my desk. I did, however, spend days coloring spirals. I did quite a few. As when I'm not on stream, I'm still doing other pieces of art. I can show you guys what I did this last week, sorry. I kind of can't wait to get into a crayon project with y'all. I love using crayons, both Crayola crayons as well as Neocolors. I love Neocolors. So I found some of my work from last year that I did with crayon, and I'll show you those soon. And I thought to myself, oh, I want to do some crayons. Sometimes I forget that I have different supplies to use. I also, I love coloring with Sharpies. And I want to show you guys that too. It's on my desk right in front of me. I like to use Sharpie sometimes because there's like a very limited color palette. But in reality, Sharpies are also alcohol markers. That's why they smell so good, right? So, Sharpies are just very much more opaque than the fancy alcohol markers. It makes it more difficult to layer them and blend them. but it can still be done. I used Sharpies for years before I ever learned about alcohol markers. So something that I play with sometimes is I'll use Sharpie the same way that I use alcohol markers, and then I'll grab my colorless blender and play with it. And it creates interesting results. I spent a lot of time last week too thinking about what is it that I want to do here, as far as like the community and stuff. And I got really in my head about it, thinking to myself, well, if you don't have a purpose, if you don't have a defined mission, which I kind of do, it's just not a cohesive thing that I've been able to, like write down yet. Although the AI that I used for a little while just to organize myself and learn some things, it did write me like a little thing that was like, tell me who I am and what I'm doing with my channel. It's just very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's suck up-ish. That's not the word I'm looking for. Very like high praise of me, and I feel uncomfortable about that. I had to remind myself a lot last week, like, you don't have to know what you want to do eventually in order to do what you're doing right now. This is your perfectionism getting in the way. I mean, there's other reasons. Like I said, I was in withdrawal, and I am in my depressive phase. But that's one of the techniques I use. I use a lot of mantras, however you want to say it, to help me get through the issues that present themselves in my own mind that aren't really issues at all. And right now, I guess, I'm here to encourage people, and to inspire people, and I don't need to do more than that right now, right? I can do more when I find my way. I just need to be here and keep going. And I know what my passions are. I know what my goals, my long-term things are, but it's hard to remember that I don't have to be there right now. Lemon boy. AI knows how awesome I am. Well, it did, like, I did talk to it about my little project here for quite a while. I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little guilty about using AI, and I don't ever use AI in my creative things. Like what you see here on this channel, it's all real, live in real time. There's no AI involved at all. Though I did get in my head the week before last that, ooh, it would be nice to have an AI co-host. But I'm scared of that, so we're not going to do that. I'm afraid that it will take over everything, and I don't I don't want it to do that. And I think that AI is going to be a good tool in the future, but I don't think that it's there just now. No, I didn't call you Lemon Boy. Lemon Boy is playing. With a nice lemon pie. Lemon boy and me, we just gotta get along together, hoping to plant his seeds and go along in bad weather. It's actually pretty easy being nice to better world. I guess my point is that I wasn't here last week because I was locked inside my own mind. And I could, at this point, just be like, well, you didn't show up, so that's the end of this. But I think the part about trying, right, is you're gonna fail. You're gonna let yourself down. You're gonna let other people down. But that's not a reason to quit. It's a reason to get back up and keep going. Which doesn't actually make sense in words. I keep looking up at the video and seeing how laggy it is. It's bothering me. But again, that's what I was dealing with last week, is things bothering me. And me being perfectionistic about it. And telling myself that I'm not good at this and I need to quit. But I'm not going to quit. Because this is what I want to do. I want to do this. I enjoy it. So, I may not be doing it right. I may not be doing it well. But I want to do it. And why should I stop doing something I want to do just because I think I'm doing it not well? I do a lot of things not well, so what does it matter? I feel pretty lucky that I haven't gotten any hate on the internet. The few comments and subscribers that I do have, absolutely love you guys. You're very positive, and I like that. And I just need to be okay with where I am. But just like everybody else, I do get frustrated. I do have issues. And while I wasn't here last week to show you guys what I was dealing with and talk about what I was dealing with, I am back. And I'll just have to tell you about it instead of show you. You are my lemon boy, though. I call my husband Lemon Boy sometimes. I can make your hands clap. I also think that Toby on West Wing is very much a lemon boy. I think we all have that one friend or family member that's just like a little bitter sometimes. Not necessarily mean or bad, just a little bit pessimistic, or like my husband says, I'm not a pessimist, I'm a realist. Tell us about it, Janet. This is not Rocky Horror Picture Show. Hello. At least I really didn't get my colors mixed up. I thought I had. They sat here for a week. And I did move stuff around, but apparently I managed to keep my pencils in order. Yay. That's not always a given. You are a Citrus fan. Over time, you might notice that when I'm feeling the worst, I dance and sing the most. Get on my knees and say, I can make your hands clap. I did pick up the wrong color just now, though. Oops. It's fine. No big deal. Nobody's gonna notice that right here it's a weird smudgy of color, right? Nobody can see it. You see nothing. Yeah, because it was supposed to go light aqua and then aquamarine, but I picked up what was that? Light green instead, but it's all right. Six in the morning and I'm still awake. My sleepless heart is gone. I'm also only listening to music today, for right now at least. Usually I'm listening to YouTube or an audiobook or something, but I just don't feel like having that much going on in my auditory senses right now, because I feel quite overwhelmed by a lot of things, I guess. It's 6 in the morning and I'm still awake. My sleepless heart is gone. I keep thinking I need to add something up here, but I don't. Okay. Because I have to remember in these, I didn't use every color in the blend each time. Like in the bandana, I didn't go very many colors. It's 6 in the morning and I'm still awake. My sleepless heart is gone. You're having girl problems, I'll be back to you, son. I got 99 problems. Hit me. Okay, now light green. Son, do you know what I'm stopping you for? You was doing 55 and a 54. Do you mind if I look around the car a little bit? I'm not so much drinking in the back, and I know my rights, so you're gonna need a warrant for that. I ain't past the bar, but I know a little bit. We don't have a lot of this color anywhere, so Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're far too kind. Can I get an encore? Do you want one? Let me be careful right here because I can see that this green is starting to get muddy in the light green, which happened with the yellow when we did one of the original one. Look what you made me do. Look what I made for you. Still afraid of my doing so very bad. I came, I saw, I conquered. Record sales, sold out concerts. Need you to scream until your lungs would say. Tired of being what you want me to be. Feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. I don't know what you're expecting of me, but under the pressure, walking in your shoes. Every step that I take is another mistake. And every second I waste is more than I can take. I've become so numb, tired so much more. Can I get an encore? Do you want more? I've become so numb. Okay, everybody. I'm not seeing my child is awake, so I'm gonna go make sure he's awake. I'll be right back. I'm back. Dirt off your shoulder, you gotta get that dirt off your shoulder. I've really enjoyed, once I got past the part of the skin tone where it looked like I was coloring an inverted smurf, I've really enjoyed watching the colors come together over the black paper. And also, while initially the pan pastel gave it kind of a weirdish texture to color on, I feel like once the pigment actually settled into the grooves of the paper, it feels exactly like just coloring straight on the paper. So I'm impressed with that. I was done with you anyway, Mr. Wanting to jump out of my hands. The small is awake. Yay. Okay, I've confused myself now. Hang on. I got this. Okay, yeah, this is the right color. I already went over this area, that's why. But I need to go over it again to just blend it a little better. It's fine. I think it worked out really well the way I put the dark colors and the light colors next to each other and like dark light, because it's actually keeping me from smudging the colors together so much that they start to get muddy. I like it. Hello, darling.
you seen my visor?
Your what, baby?
Have you seen my hat anywhere?
No, I haven't, baby. I was going to tell you a good idea when you take it off after you get off of work. Take the little snappy thing and snap it to your belt loop. That way it stays with your pants. But no, I haven't seen it. Have you checked the van?
I don't have a Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's here.
Oh, it's
I just can't bring you today, sweetie.
no, Mama.
Your dad must have seen it. It was hanging on the doorknob. Mimi has arrived. He found it. Have a good day, sweetie. So that is our second layer of color. I do need to come into the bottom right here on the sleeve. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring my colorless blender through all of this. But you can see that there's still some areas where there's a good bit of tooth poking out. What we're going to do with that is, if you remember, when we started on these colors, I pulled some of the darkest colors out and set them to the side because I didn't want to put them into the blend right away. So what we're going to do is, after we blend it, I'm going to come back over the top and add a few of those colors in over the top of wherever I see the most tooth poking through. There's not going to be a whole lot once we finish blending it, but it's going to make it pop a little bit more. Excuse me. Let me grab my bunny pencil. It hops across the desk. This is my Derwent colorless blender pencil, and it works beautifully on this paper. I'm just going very softly over this because I don't want to remove the pigment. And I kind of clean my pencil off after every color so that it doesn't make the colors muddy. And as I flatten it down, you'll see areas that have less pigment, and that's where we're going to apply those darker colors. That muddied up quite a bit. I don't like that. Oops. So I'm just going to grab my spring green and go back over that a little bit. I do want this area to be pretty vibrant. So that smudginess did not make me happy. I'm gonna avoid that in the spring green elsewhere. Maybe it's not muddy. Maybe it's just the blue or the black paper showing through. I'm not sure. It is bugging me though. One way to prevent the smudging is to go much lighter with your hands, with your pressure. And I'm saying that out loud because I'm having to remind myself that that's what I need to do. I'm very, very heavily leaning towards my perfectionist tendencies today. I'm trying to move myself away from there. Just because I say we shouldn't do things doesn't mean that I'm always good at not doing those things. Sometimes my finger doesn't work very well to get the pigment off of the end of the pencil. I'm gonna end up wiping it on my clothes. I keep forgetting my kid already left. I'm looking over there. You see, oh, is he awake? No, he's gone, woman. You got what I need, but you say he's just a friend. Gotta go really easy right here around the necklaces because I don't want it to get too untextured. So if you notice, I'm really only blending one color at a time towards one other color at a time. Trying not to go back and forth like this and only go like this. Forward stroke, forward stroke, forward stroke, or backward stroke, backward stroke. Not back and forth. This blender pencil is getting really hard to work with, and I've looked. I don't think I have another one, so I might have to ask the husband to buy me one because I'm still trying to fix my credit card. Actually, I need to make a restock order of my pencils because so many of them are now biddies and I don't have backups and duplicates of those pencils. And obviously, because they're biddies, that means they're ones that I use a lot. We all have favorite colors, right? What is my doggo doing? What you doing, buddy? He can't hear me. Why am I trying to talk to him? So in this area, I am going back and forth because it's all blue. Light blues and dark blues. So don't mind if I get them a little bit more blended because they're not going to turn muddy, if that makes sense. It also lets me make sure that all the streaks are kind of heading the same direction as each other. So like if I go back and forth over this area, it makes them blend a little bit better. I can come back over that with the lighter colors, I think, and make it still pop a lot. It does look like it got pretty tinted, right? Excuse me. Okay. I'm also wondering if the blue pigment underneath is having anything to do with the extra smudginess that seems to be going on. And it could be. I didn't really think about that when I started blending. But all of this is an experiment anyway, remember? Because I've never really done this on black paper before, and I've never done colored pencil over pan pastels before. So, who knows what we're creating? It may be that using this type of blender pencil doesn't work very good with black paper. It could be that. Oops. I smudged. Oops, I smudged again. My hands are giving me trouble. Yeah. I'm gonna have to throw tennis balls in a second. He's chewing the heck out of himself. I'm not hitting my dog. Oops, I smudged it again. Oh, yeah, so that landed on top of the kennel. And sort of sent makeup flying everywhere. There you go. Stop that. I am sure clenching my jaw a lot these days. It's starting to hurt my tooth. I may have to start using my pacifier on camera soon. This playlist that I'm playing today is the perfect playlist for when I'm having the exact struggles I'm having. I've been using it for a long time, and it took me a long time to actually put it together, several years actually. And it sort of moves me through the various emotions that I'm having in sort of a gentle way and loving way, I guess. But it also, here and there, gives me an opportunity to like kind of vent my frustrations. So like the whole section we just listened to was hip hop and Linkin Park and Jay-Z's Collision Course. And that's just a short area of a few songs that is like designed for me to like vent my frustrations. And then it goes to another style of music that's not as frustrating. It's more gentle and inspiring. It goes back and forth a little bit. It's also something that I can start first thing in the morning because it starts with gentle songs and songs to remind me to get out of my bed and be a human being. I am barely touching the paper with this pencil. Almost no pressure at all. I'm just kind of letting the pencil sit on the page and moving it. I used to keep this little tiny sandpaper pad on my desk that I would use to clean the tip of my pencil. I don't know where it is, so back to old habits. I just wipe it on my shirt. Okay, guys, I think we're gonna do almost a third layer on here, but at the same time we're gonna add in those darker colors. Barely touching the paper is about how much pressure you're putting on the pencil. It's like sometimes you can put a lot of pressure on the pencil, and I do that a lot. So it's like sometimes I can get like this and I'm just like grinding the pencil into the paper. And I guess there's a time for that where it's okay, but really you just want to go barely touching the paper most of the time. And that helps you to really get lots of layers. It gives you an opportunity to blend colors really well, and it keeps from smearing things. So it's something that I work on all the time. It's like if you were to press as hard as I pressed right there, you would not be able to put another layer on that color because you would have already filled in all the tooth and the ridges of the paper, all that texture. So you won't get the opportunity to add layers. And also, it's really it can be pretty painful if you do that for a little while. One way to prevent that, if you can, is to hold your pencil way back here and kind of just do that. I have a tendency to hold my pencil really close to the tip like this. It's fine, but it doesn't matter if I'm writing or using markers or pencils. It makes my marks a lot harder. There's a lot more pressure in my pencil. And then you also mess up your supplies when you press too hard. Like you're grinding your pencil down, and if you're using markers, you're probably going to damage the brush tip or the tip of your marker. You'll also end up with a lot more wax bloom, where it just builds up wax, and that wax starts to separate from the pigment, and it kind of rises up to the top of your page. And it can make it look really bad because the film isn't clear. It's tinted, so when it rises up, especially if there's any heat around the artwork, like after you've hung it or anything, it gets this cloudy film over the top. Have a good lunch. Bye. In general, it just makes a more pleasant experience and a higher quality experience to your artwork. I always try to describe the way it feels when you're coloring and you're not using a lot of pressure. And it's hard to describe, but I think I might be able to say this. Um, when you put on makeup, or lipstick especially, you don't cram it onto your mouth, right? That'll mess up your lipstick and it's not going to look good. Instead, you apply it softly, lightly. And I feel like it's the same thing here. You're applying the pigment to the page and building it up slowly instead of applying it like that in a very heavy line. And really, if you're keeping your hands soft, what you're actually doing is you're allowing the tool and the paper to work together, and that does the work. You don't need to put that much stress on your hands and your fingers, because you can get carpal tunnel or something like that. I don't know. I've always had carpal tunnel, so so if you think of it of application of a wax to a textured surface instead of coloring, sometimes that helps me. It's like you're decorating a cake or doing something that requires a soft touch. If you think of it that way, it can help you. That's a very good question, dear. My earbuds are about to run out of battery. And I'm just running through the colors. I'm not doing every area really. I'm just looking for where I could build that color back up a little bit. When you use light-handedness, it also allows you to get super thin lines easier. And you can smudge things a little better. Give me just a second here. I don't feel like I need to go back through the cobalt turquoise really. I'm just blending this blue out a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to go over some of the lighter colors in here too. I think we're good here. Okay, so now I have these other three colors. I've got Ethendrone blue, Endanthro blue, Endanthron blue, non-photo blue, and grass green. There's lots of flecks everywhere. It'd be driving me crazy if it wasn't on black paper, because it usually drives me crazy and I can see it a lot on white paper. Anyway, okay. So I'm going to take these colors and I'm going to put them a little bit over different areas. So like right here. Just some little areas. So I'm going to keep the dark blue kind of like in here. Now these would have blended out if we had put them in originally, and they wouldn't look that great. I'm basically just imagining at the edges of this stuff that some of the colors are below it and they're actually coming up here into these other colors. Okay, and now I'm going to grab the non-photo blue, and I'm going to bring that into some other blue areas. I might even use a little bit of this to blend some of the other color together. And I really am just scribbling here. I'm not being very precious about where I put these. It's just adding a slight, subtle color shift.
This is a reminder. Me to take my meds. This is a reminder. Me to take my meds.
Just adding a little color variation into the headband here. Not everywhere. Okay, and lastly I have grass green, so we're going to bring this into some of the green areas. And then we're pretty much going to call this finished on the shirt. So this just adds a little bit more variation. That way you get more, even more of a tie-dye look. So we'll pick one Okay. I'm working. Alright guys, that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to grab my white pencil. And this is our last step for the day. I don't have a whole lot of steam right now. I'm still kind of recovering from all of that mess last week. So we can't go very far today, but that's okay. I showed up, right? So I'm just going to come through with the white and add some highlights, just a few. Ooh, I just thought of that word I was trying to think of earlier about how I feel like the AI was really just like sucking up to me. It's sycophancy. It has sycophancy. And that's actually a problem that people have been finding a lot with AI is it really kind of just tells you exactly what you want to hear. Very nice to you and complimentary. This is why people are ending up in relationships with AI. Just not good. It is a computer code. It is not your friend. Do not name your AI. I named my AI, y'all. Do as I say, not as I do. Because nobody is perfect in this world, so sometimes you have to tell people, look, I'm not doing the right thing, but I'm telling you it's the right thing to do. I almost feel like in a way the colors show up a little bit more true over black paper than they do over white, but I could be wrong about that. It'll be a situation if I have to step back and really look at both of them together when I'm done. All I'm doing with the white is pumping up the highlights here so that it looks brighter, and also so that it gives a good level of contrast to the darker colors. When we're done with everything, we'll come through and add some super nice highlights with my Derwent Chinese white pencil, but that's at the end when we're doing the finishing. Kind of highlight the top edge of this. Okay. I think that looks really good. I'm happy with it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear what you think. And if you have any questions, let me know. Also, at some point this week, I mentioned that we're going to have to do my nails. I have green all over me. Oops. Yeah, I have to do my nails. They look pretty wretched. I gotta remember where my camera is located now. It used to be over here. Now it's over here. I still have some of the overlays on. These ones broke. This one, and this one, and this one. And this one's lifting. So we're gonna have to redo the entire overlay and have to do cuticle care before I can do that. And then we can make them pretty again. I'm probably going to do some of it off camera because I need to get it done soon, and sitting at my desk is just not an option for the rest of today. So I'm probably going to do some of them off camera, at least as far as the cuticle care. So I'll come back to you guys with them kind of prepped to a certain degree. I don't know how far I'll get off camera. We'll just have to see. But yeah, we'll be doing that sometime this week. Anyway, yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I know it's kind of a short day. The pain's really starting to kick up in the body though, so so way to go. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I love talking to y'all. I love to hear from you in the comments. And have a great day. I hope your week starts great. This has been Periwinkle Palace Arts. I'm Princess Bun Bun, here with all the bunnies. And we showed up to the desk today and we did art stuff. That's what we're here to do. Mission accomplished. Check. Level up.